This is going to be a video about how to launch a DTC brand on Amazon from A to Z, covering every single aspect of the process and going in depth so that you have the most successful launch onto Amazon that you possibly can have. Listening to every single pillar of this video is going to be especially important because they all build upon each other. It's like the foundation of a house. If you miss one pillar, the entire launch can be derailed. Now, first of all, who am I? Why should you listen to me? Now, I've owned my own brands. I've been in the space since 2015. I sold one Amazon brand in 2019. I sold another brand in 2022. And then since then, I've started the boutique Amazon agency called Redview Ventures, where we work with premium brands and help them scale on Amazon. We've helped brands like Simpler Hair Color go from 0 to 500K per month in 90 days. We helped Pop Tarts go from 220,000 per month to 2.2 million per month in 6 months. And we helped scale a pet brand from 50,000 a month to 110,000 per month in under 60 days. We've worked with brands of all sizes. In every case, we come and we help them scale using this 6-pillar strategy. So let's dive into it. We have 1, prepare for Amazon, 2, listing SEO, 3, crafting a high converting listing, 4, getting initial reviews, 5, implementing a 3-tiered PPC strategy. This is especially important. This is where a lot of people mess up, especially at launch. And then pillar 6, how to use external traffic. And in external traffic, I discuss some hacks that I haven't seen anybody else talk about how to think Amazon holistically in context with your D2C brands. So let's dive into it. The very first step is pillar 1, preparing for Amazon. And you may think, hey, David, like this is very easy, but in effect, it's actually not. So how you think about this is first you need to validate if there's any demand on Amazon. Does Amazon even make sense for your brand? Well, ask yourself some questions. How often is your brand searched on Amazon? And then how is that branded search changing over time? We've continually seen that the more you spend on Facebook, the halo effect on Amazon is very, very real. And businesses, specifically in the 7 to 8 figure range, can typically grow 20 to 30% just by launching on Amazon and capturing their branded search. So, first you start with brand, and then you go into the overall market size. So, to determine overall market size, I like to think of it as a little foundation. So, you have branded search here. You have generic keywords here, and then you also have competitors where you get go out and extract market share from them and then take it onto your brand. So let's look at overall market size for this commodity. So this is a beard color for men. This overall market is 6.9 million per month. The average competitor in this space is doing $100,000 per month, and the average price is $21. This is a tool called Helium 10, but you can also use Jungle Scout. I'm not affiliated with any of these tools, but I do use them a lot. Now, one other way you can benchmark demand on Amazon is to benchmark against competition. So who are some competitors that are on Amazon? Amazon gives you very good data about bestsellers ranking and exactly how many units some of your competitors are selling, so you can easily benchmark against these competitors. Once you validate demand, you're going to want to set up an account. This process typically takes about a week just because you have to go through identity verification. I have all the steps listed here. If you want this Miro board, by the way, you can sign up below and this will be automatically emailed to you. Now, the biggest thing for D2C brands, and especially with expanding to Amazon, is you want to protect your brand. And so the very first thing you should do after signing up for the Amazon account is to sign up for brand registry. Now, brand registry does require a registered trademark, and one kind of hack here is it doesn't have to be a registered trademark in the US. A registered trademark in the US can take 6 to 9 months. You can register a trademark in the US, UK, EU, and other countries that Amazon supports. Now, if you don't have a trademark already, you can use Amazon's IP accelerator, and then you'll get early access to brand registry. This is a great option if you're new to Amazon and you don't have a trademark already. Now, brand registry is going to help you protect your brand on Amazon, but it's not going to be enough, especially if you're in a high risk category. So this is something like supplements, electronics, or consumables. For these types of categories, it is necessary that you sign up for Amazon Transparency. Amazon Transparency is going to generate a unique barcode for every unit that you send into Amazon and help you prevent counterfeits. So here's the step-by-step process for Amazon Transparency. It is a little complicated to set up, but once you get it set up, all of your counterfeits on Amazon will go away and you will have good protection on your brand. Now, I do want to talk about inventory forecasting because the cardinal rule of an Amazon launch is that you do not want to go out of stock in the first 90 days. Amazon is going to prioritize your product and essentially give you preferential treatment on Amazon for the first around 90 days as sort of a honeymoon period. So what we do is we do pretty strict inventory forecasting, and we forecast a bunch of different scenarios. Now, we'd like to think about it as kind of like a cake. So we know that your brand is getting searched 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 times a month, and we know exactly how many purchases that leads to. Then we factor in external sales. So if you're going to send emails from your email list and you have a 100,000 person email list, we can calculate how many people those purchases will purchase on Amazon. And then we'll also look at similar competitors in the product to get a pretty accurate idea of how much stock you need for the first 90 days. Now, this is something you got to adjust weekly. Obviously, post-launch, you're going to monitor actual sales daily and then take into account your lead time, your production time, so that you don't run out of stock on Amazon. Now, this is inventory forecasting. Once you are ready for Amazon, though, the very next step is to create a high converting listing. And this is something I see a lot of D2C brands get wrong. On Shopify, think about the typical customer journey. Somebody sees a Facebook ad. They're primed to see your product. They saw somebody who had their product in their hand, was talking about how much that product loved them. Then they go to a landing page or an advertorial saying, hey, this is 5 things I loved about your product. Then they go to purchase. On Amazon, somebody is searching for a generic keyword and they're not primed at all. There's no Facebook ad. There's no landing page. The landing page is your listing. And so this is why listing images and creating your listing right is so important. And it's something most D2C brands get wrong because they think, hey, like we'll just use our product photography on Amazon. And it's just not good enough. If your conversion rate is bad, it's going to affect your PPC ads on Amazon. It's going to affect your organic ranking, and it's going to affect your profit on Amazon. It is one of the most important things to get right. Now, for D2C brands in particular, what we do is we really nail down your customer avatar so that we can create listing images that speak directly to them on Amazon so that we can capture the essence of your Facebook ads, your organic search, however you're getting traffic to your Shopify store now, we capture the essence of that in your Amazon listing images. So we look through Data Dive, which is on Amazon keyword research tool. We look through your reviews on Shopify. We look through the Facebook comments, and then we extract it all to develop kind of these customer avatars. Now, using this information, we're able to write pretty detailed creative briefs. So with this, we first create the main image, then we create the listing images, the Premium A+, the videos, and premium branding. Now, I want to talk about main image first because your main image is very important because it determines your click-through rate. So your main image is your gateway to your listing. And in 2025, your simple product packaging shots just aren't good enough. You need to highlight what's important about your listing and make it stand out from competitors all in one image. So there's a couple of guidelines here. 1, highlight key info, be different from competitors, take up as much space as possible. And you can see example here. So this main image had 6.4% click share. We went in, we redid the main image, 13% click share. So the biggest thing is to stand out against the competition. If every single person is doing the same style image, do something different. You can see here, this one is just a basic tire. This one is an inner tube. And then we have our tires here, and we have the sizing all in the image in an integrated way. So obviously, we're going to take up more clicks in search results. Now, with the listing images, this is where you really do the selling. So the main image is the gateway to your listing. Your listing images are where you get convert branded and new to brand customers about, hey, this is why your product is great. This is why it's better than competitors. Now, 90% of customers on Amazon will not read your bullet points. The listing images are your chance to convert new to brand customers. So in terms of guidelines, I always like to say one idea per main image, easy to scan, use your customer avatars, adjust frequently asked questions, show lifestyle images, and then use comparison images. Now, most DTC brands do an okay job of doing this. However, they kind of mess it up. On Amazon, you need to have one benefit per one image. And the biggest thing I see is there's no comparison images on DTC brands. And it makes sense, right? Like if somebody's coming to your Shopify site, you don't want to advertise for a competitor. But on Amazon, that competitor is going to be right next to your listing, and they are most likely going to be priced at 30% of your price. As an aside, we only work with premium brands on Amazon. Most of our clients are actually priced 3 to 4 times higher than other products in the category. But one thing that allows D2C brands to succeed is they use these comparison images to show, hey, this is exactly why our product is premium priced. This is why you should buy it. Now, here is the cardinal rule of Amazon graphic design. People do not read. If you cannot understand an image in less than 3 seconds, you need to work on the graphic design of your listing images, and you need to kind of change these up. Now, you have your main image, you have your listing images. One thing you also have is Premium A+. And this is where you can really show your graphic design skills. Now, if you're running Facebook ads to a specific landing page or Facebook ads to a specially designed product detail page on Shopify, you know how important your landing page conversion can be. So this is where you can display your branding and really convey that premium sense. So here's one of our clients. Most of the products in this niche are priced at $5 to $6 per Apple Watch band, and we sell these for $39.99. Now you can see right here, we have an infographic, we have cushion feel, one band, every situation. We have something like the benefits. We have frequently asked questions. These are all ways to convey that premium feel, and it really is a feeling, right? And so this is where I see 90% of brands slip up, where they aren't willing to kind of invest in this Premium A+ content. Now, one thing you absolutely need is a video on Amazon. If you are a D2C brand, you should have plenty of videos already. Typically, we like to recommend 3 different types of videos: a product introduction video, a testimonial social proof, and then 3, a long form video. So 1, the product introduction video, this is going to be your stereotypical commercial style video. You could have clear call outs, you could have fast paced, hey, why does this product matter? This is also good for sponsor brand video ads. 2, you could have testimonial. 2, you're going to have testimonials and social proof videos. These are your stereotypical, your customer avatar is holding your product in their hand. They're saying, hey, this solved my problems, everything. You can use Billo, you can use joint brands, or you can go out and just get people who have used your product. One other thing, and this is one thing we don't see a lot of DTC brands have, but it is great to incorporate, is a long form video. So when I say long form video, I want you to think about a stereotypical YouTube video where somebody dives deep into your product and explains every single aspect about, hey, this is how you use it, this is what it's best used for, this is what I like, this is what I don't like about it. The typical length are 5 minutes to 20 minutes. You can oftentimes download these from YouTube and upload them to Amazon, and typically you will see an increase in conversion rate from here. Now, before moving on from creating an Amazon listing, I want to talk about premium branding, because this is one thing I think D2C brands can kind of really take a note on. Now, the best brands on Amazon are the ones that sell at premium price. And the reason they are able to sell at a premium price is because every aspect of their listing feels premium. So let's go back to these Apple Watch bands. This is a category that is overtaken kind of by overseas competition. And this is one thing where you can stand out from competition just by making your listing so much better. And this is an example. So here's a typical kind of overseas competitor. We have these bands sell for $6. These bands sell for $39. So a 5x difference in price. You can see here, just nothing about this listing feels premium, doesn't really have good text. And let's come here. We can see all the branding. We can see the copy. They have clean fonts. They have clean graphic design. They have unique selling propositions. Like, this is a brand that just feels premium. They have like frequently asked questions down here. And this is a brand that's worth $39 for that band, right? So there's a couple of options to kind of accomplish this. One, you can do it yourself. Obviously, you can do this if you are a branding expert. Two, you can do Fiverr, Upwork. Now, typically what I've seen, I've hired a lot of people off of Fiverr. This has been the experience of me and probably 100 other brand owners who have gone down this route. You get hire a freelancer. He's going to promise you the world for $100. He's going to say he'll get it done in 48 hours. You're going to go back and forth with revisions for the next 3 weeks of your life. At the end of the day, you're going to have a little bit less hair, and you're just going to think it's all right. So you're probably going to change it within 3 months anyway. Alternatively, you can hire an expert. So here at my agency, we've designed 100 plus Amazon listings. We've beaten the conversion rate every single time with our conversion rate guarantee. And we do it all in a 7-day turnaround. So that is an option. It's a very soft pitch. Now, before I go into how to get reviews, because reviews are a massive factor in conversion rate, I do want to talk about listing SEO, because this is really going to be your key to growing new to brand customer acquisition on Amazon. So let's talk about listing SEO really quickly, and then we'll get into reviews. So there's a couple different aspects here. Let's first go through the theory, then we'll go through keyword research, writing your listing, some tricks. These are really helpful. And then how you should maintain this. So the entire theory about Amazon SEO is that Amazon is a search engine, and you want to use Amazon to do two things. You want to capture demand for your brand, but you also want to index and rank for generic keywords. And we can take this example just to kind of walk through this. So everybody knows Stanley water bottles, and then we have the water bottle market as a whole. So every single month, 100,000 people search on Amazon for a Stanley water bottle. But every single month, 1 million people search for water bottles in general. So one of the biggest things to evaluate when looking at a brand on Amazon is where it's organically ranked. Obviously, it should be ranked number 1 for branded keywords, but it needs to be ranking on generic keywords and competitor keywords as well. Amazon SEO is all about finding the keywords that are 1, relevant to your product, 2, you're able to convert on the keyword, and 3, have a sizable search volume. All 3 of those are important, and they all work in parallel. So first, let's go through keyword research. Now, keyword research relies on finding what's already ranking on Amazon, and then reverse engineering what keywords the product is ranking for. My favorite tool for doing this is Data Dive. Here's a screenshot from Data Dive in the supplement niche. I'm not affiliated with Data Dive, but it's something I use every single day at our Amazon agency. So how to use Data Dive: you choose 5 to 15 competitors in your niche. You can create a master keyword list. And then here's the most important part. You're going to manually filter through each keyword. And then for each keyword, ask yourself, 1, is this actually relevant for my product? And 2, will I be able to convert on this search term? Both of those factors are important. And the reason they're important is because you need to know that keywords are for indexing for a keyword, but conversion rate is what really matters. If you start indexing for a certain keyword, like let's just take water bottles as an example, but your product's not a water bottle, or people don't like your product, then you're not going to convert very highly and you're never going to rank organically for that keyword. So you have to consider both aspects. And then when writing your listing, there's a couple of rules and guidelines you should follow. One is to optimize your title. Your title is the most important part of your listing. You should put your primary keyword right after your brand name, focus on benefits, and then stay within Amazon's 200 character limit. Then you're going to go into your bullet points and then your back-end search terms. One tip with the back-end search terms is you don't want to repeat any words from the title or bullet points. Typically, what I put in the back-end search terms is any alternate spellings, misspellings, or related terms your audience might use. These are terms that you don't want to have on the public-facing side of the listing, but the back-end search terms don't show on the public listing, so these are fine there. Now, some hacks, and these hacks are going to be very, very useful when creating your listing SEO. First, you have to know what's most important. The title is the most important, followed by the bullet points, followed by the description, followed by backend search terms, followed by alt text and images. This has been proven time and time again through A/B testing on high converting listings on Amazon. And what's also important is the closer to the beginning of your title also matters. So you need to have your most important keyword first. Now, one thing, and this is more of a recent development, kind of 2023 to 2025, is to focus more on root keywords. So you don't have to repeat keywords throughout the listing. In fact, Amazon is starting to penalize people that repeat a lot of keywords on the listing. So for example, for a brain supplement, some root keywords would be brain, supplement, memory. You want to have all of these roots into the listing to help you rank. And then 3, use tools to help you. I use like DataDive's internal listing builder, and what this really does is it provides like a ranking juice, quote unquote, of like your new title versus your old title versus competitors. So it essentially matches keywords using exact phrase and broad match in your title, bullet points, description, and then creates a number evaluating the quality. This is one thing you can very easily see to show the before and after of your listing SEO, which is incredibly important. Because if you're going to make a change, you need to measure and quantify exactly the effects of that change. Now, once you create the listing, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. You need to kind of maintain it. So your listing needs to be continuously optimized based on real data. So what we do is we reveal search term reports from ads, and we take the highest converting keywords from our PPC campaigns and evaluate them against our listing. It's possible in the initial research we missed a couple keywords, or through our PPC campaigns, we discovered additional keywords or use cases for our product. So we're going to add these to our title, bullet points, backend search terms as necessary. One thing we'll also do is we'll analyze search query performance data, where we can see what customers are searching for, spot gaps where your listing isn't ranking, and then add those keywords to the title and bullet points. We make a point to redo this every 30 days and take into account all of the sources on Amazon to make sure that your listing is continuously optimized for all of the keywords it possibly could be. As I said earlier, keywords are for indexing, and then conversion rate is what matters. We went through conversion rate, we went through indexing. Let's go through reviews, because this is another aspect that is going to impact your conversion rate and determine your success on Amazon. So how do you get initial reviews? Now, first of all, it's 2025 and family and friends reviews still work on Amazon. However, there are a couple of rules here. Now, the reason I want to say this is because I don't want to hold any information back, but this is still a very, very common practice, especially when launching new products. So I try to get your first 10 reviews from family and friends. These should be the very first reviews, and they should ideally contain keywords you're trying to rank for. Now, there's a couple of guidelines to make sure you don't get caught by Amazon, because if you do get caught by Amazon, there's pretty severe consequences. So you want one order / one review per Amazon account. You want different delivery addresses. So if everybody's living in the same house, like a bunch of brothers and sisters in the same house, Only one person can order from that address. And then try to spread out the purchases across the country. So just think about it from Amazon's point of view. If 20 reviews in the space of 1 square mile, that's going to look a little suspicious and you might get flagged. Now, one thing here, and this is something I don't really see a lot of people talk about, but you want to make sure your review rate never exceeds 5 to 6%. Otherwise, this will throw a massive red flag to Amazon. If you get caught manipulating reviews, it can put your entire Seller Central account at risk, which is not worth it. These are going to be some of the ways to legally get reviews. Now, you can also request a review. This is a legal option from Amazon. We can see this here. So this is a real order. And you see this button right here. It says request a review. Now, you can do this manually for every single order by clicking on each order, clicking on request a review, and then Amazon will automatically send you the request a review email. But it's 2025. This is one of those things that's designed for automation. We use Sellerboard to automate this process. And as a bonus, Sellerboard also provides you with a day-by-day P&L for your Amazon business. It's a software we use every single day. So to do that, you can click autoresponder campaign, set up a new campaign, set the wait time to the minimum wait time, and then you get activated. Now, when you sign up for full Amazon management with us, we handle this entire process of setting up reviews, requesting reviews for you at no additional cost. Now, let's move on to another method of getting reviews. Because as a DTC brand, you probably have an email list and probably has at least 1,000, if not 100,000, 1 million subscribers. We've worked with DTC brands that have all three sizes. Now, if you have greater than 5 to 10,000 subscribers, you need to be segmenting that email list appropriately. Because what Amazon likes to see is 1 purchase the first day, 2 purchases the second day, 3 purchases the third day, just a gradual ramp up. And you know what they don't like to see is they don't like to see 10 purchases on the first day and then 0 purchases for the next week. So this is something we do for all of DTC clients is we advise them on email strategy in conjunction with their Amazon launch. But essentially, we will segment different parts of the email list. And these are some segments we've seen work very, very well. So listen up. First of all, VIP customers, repeat buyers, potential customers, and then entire list. Ideally, you go just down this list. You email VIP customers first, then repeat buyers, then potential customers, then the entire list. And as I said before, you want to space this out over the span of 14 to 21 days because Amazon really likes to see consistent sales over a longer time period. Some of the messaging you're going to use, we just launched on Amazon, and then you're going to use buy on Amazon, and you're going to use the brand attribution link. So this is going to get you 10% off of Amazon FBA fees. At the same time, you can enroll in new seller incentives. And I have another video about both of those programs. Now, the third thing, where are we at? We're at 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is the fourth thing, is enroll in Amazon Vine. And this is what 90% of people will tell you. And actually, I think that information is mostly outdated now. Because Amazon Vine, I have noticed just in the past 6 months, there's a lot more 1 to 3 star reviews through Amazon Vine because Amazon started cracking down on Vine reviewers and saying, hey, you're only leaving 5-star reviews. That's not the point of the program. But let's talk about Amazon Vine for a second. Now, this is Amazon's answer to review manipulation. You're allowed to enroll up to 30 units per parent ASIN. And it does cost some money. If you enroll the full 30 units, it costs $200. We always enroll the 30 units because that is the maximum allowed. And the biggest question I get is, will Vine reviewers leave 5-star reviews? And the answer is no. And I was just talking about this, where the average Vine review will be closer to 3.5 to 4 stars. But there's a way you can influence Vine reviews. And so the reason this is 4th on our list for gain reviews is because if you already have 5-star reviews on your product from friends and family, from your email list, then this is going to positively influence people's future perception of you. So when a Vine reviewer is getting the product and there's no reviews, they're going to say, it's okay, but I'm going to take off 1 star. If you have 10 5-star reviews, a Vine reviewer is much more likely to leave a 5-star review. Now, that's one thing. The second hack is to keep your pricing low for the first 2 to 4 weeks. If this is something you can do, if you don't want to maintain price parity between D2C and Amazon, some brands do, some brands don't. A big complaint from Vine is affordability or value for the money. So they'll say like, this is okay, but it's just not worth $45. So they'll take off 1 star, 2 stars. So if you can keep your price low for the first 30 days while enrolled in Amazon Vine just to get these reviews, then I would highly recommend. Now, I also want to talk about insert cards because a lot of brands were kind of touting this tactic back in 2016, 2017. It has evolved a lot. Now, the efficiency of these has been going down over the past few years, but they are good for D2C brands because they're going to build awareness of your D2C site. So what should you offer on this card? And this can be a card that goes out in your Shopify orders as well, or it can be unique to Amazon. I like creating inserts that are unique to Amazon because you can customize the customer experience on Amazon a little bit better, and you can give them a better offer than you would give your Shopify customers. Now, the offer really depends on the niche, but in the past, what I've seen work the best is extended warranty. So like scan here to activate your extended warranty, a free gift. This is really good if your product has any sort of accessories or anything like that. Or a new product announcement. Go here to see all of our available other products. This last one, new product announcement, is very good if you only release a limited set of SKUs on Amazon and then you have exclusive SKUs for your website. So your insert card would say, hey, you bought on Amazon, but we have all these other designs on our website. And that's a pretty good incentive to get them to go to the website. Now, I also want to talk about how to boost your review score because you will see that review score is very, very important on Amazon. So everybody knows star rating is one of the biggest factors of conversion rate. And in general, you need to have at least a 4-star rating to be competitive. Now, this is very important. What matters is the visual star rating, not the actual number. So let's zoom in here. This is the visual rating. We can see we have 4 stars here, but it says 3.9 here. Study and study again have shown that this 3.9 doesn't matter nearly as much as the actual visual rating. So you need to optimize your review thresholds, and you need a 3.7 plus rating because Amazon rounds up for those review thresholds. At 3.7 to 4.2, it'll look like 4 stars. If it's 3.6 or below, it looks like 3.5 stars, and your conversion rate is going to take a 25% hit. Ideally, you get to 4.3 stars or above because this is going to look like 4.5 stars. The vast majority of successful products, though, have a 4-star rating. So how can you maintain a star rating? One, you can get more 5-star reviews, email segments of your email list to increase review status. In this Miro board, I have the exact segments you need to email for product launch and for getting customer reviews. We've tested this a lot. Obviously, you need to have a good product. You need to have good customer support. There's a couple of hacks here as well. You need to prevent negative reviews. This is one thing that's taken into account with the listing images, where you want to address issues in your listing images preemptively so that people don't leave a negative review. You want to enroll in product lifecycle support. If you're not sure where to do this, then comment below. I can show you how. And you want to make it easy for people to contact you. So this is another reason why I like having a separate insert card for Amazon FBA, because you want to make it as easy as possible for people to reach out to you directly so that you can solve their problems instead of them going to Amazon. You can also remove negative reviews, so you can file cases with Amazon to get these negative reviews removed. These are if they violate community guidelines. Now, let's see. We've covered prepare for Amazon, listing SEO, high converting listing. We have a plan to get initial reviews. we need to cover external traffic and a three-tiered PPC strategy. Now, PPC is really important, but for right now, I'm going to talk about external traffic because I think it's one of the biggest advantages most DTC brands have, and most people do not utilize it right. So, first of all, why should you even use external traffic? Well, Amazon is getting more competitive every single year, and there's certain niches, i.e., supplements, where it's almost impossible to launch a new product without black hat tactics or external traffic. Now, the biggest thing to consider when using external traffic is that Amazon is going to give you a bonus for sending these people to Amazon. So you're going to go to Campaign Manager, you can go to Settings, you can go to Brand Attribution, and you can use your Brand Attribution link to get 10% off of FBA fees through driving external traffic. And I said this earlier, but I want to say it again. It is very important to stair-step your launch on Amazon. You do not want to see 10 sales the first day and then 0 for the next week. You want to see 10 sales, then 20 sales, then 30 sales, then 40 sales. So how are you going to do that? Well, I'm mentioning email lists a lot, but I really think it's massively important for D2C brands. But your goal with your email list is to email your smaller segments first and then graduate to some of the bigger segments. So you're going to start with VIP buyers, go to repeat buyers, go to potential customers, 60-day engaged list, and then go to your entire list. One other thing we've seen work very well is using Facebook ads. And when you go on to Amazon, you can incorporate Amazon-based messaging into your Facebook ads. So the biggest thing that we've seen is to just place an available on Amazon button into your top performing Facebook static ads and your video ads. And you can also mention Amazon in the copy. There is going to be some percentage of people who will only purchase on Amazon, and you're missing out on these people by not being there. So make it obvious that you're now on Amazon and use your Facebook ads. One other thing we've seen is D2C brands who spend a lot on Google ads tend to do very, very well on Amazon and vice versa. Amazon ads and Google ads are both keyword-based bidding platforms. So if you're already running Google ads, you can run Google ads directly to your Amazon listings using the brand attribution link, get that 10% off, and you can use a software like Amped. Before, I have no affiliation with them. I have used them in the past for some of our agency clients, and we've seen pretty good results. Now, vice versa works as well. If you are spending a lot on Google ads, the same keywords that you're spending on will most likely work well in Amazon ads. The typical campaign structure I've seen is one Performance Max campaign and then one search campaign per product for Google ads. Now, as a D2C brand, you're selling through Shopify, you're generating awareness in some way, shape, or form. One way you might be doing it is through using influencers. And the thing about launching on Amazon is that it gives these influencers a better way to monetize because they can use Amazon affiliate links. They can drive the traffic to Amazon. The good thing about Amazon affiliate links is that there's actually a 24-hour cookie on anything that they buy from Amazon, not just your product. Now, for D2C brands, influencer traffic should primarily be going to your Shopify site. However, you can also ask the influencer to add a link to Amazon for the people who don't want to purchase on Shopify. Now, if the influencer links to Amazon, they can use the Amazon affiliates link so that they get 4% of anything the person buys on Amazon. Let's say your product is a supplement, but they also buy like some milk, some Fairlife protein shakes, a hair dryer, and a washing machine. The influencer will get 4% off of that entire purchase. And then you can also use the brand attribution link so that you get 10% off. So this is a win-win. The influencer wins, you win as well. And it's a way to supplement your Amazon launch. Now, you have external traffic, you have some initial reviews, you have a high converting listing, you have good listing SEO. How are you going to get your product in front of new to brand customers? Let's talk about PPC. I always refer to this as the 3-tiered PPC strategy. So, here's our exact process for doing that. At launch, we want to tell Amazon exactly what our product is. Now, if you think about this from Amazon's point of view, your product has just launched on Amazon. Amazon doesn't have any idea where you should be ranked, what you should be ranked on, or what your product even is. So we need to take full advantage of this honeymoon period where Amazon is going to give you priority placement on search terms so that they can see, hey, this product actually converts well, or this product doesn't convert well, and we're never going to show it again. So, how do we do that? Well, first of all, we're not going to waste spend on auto match or broad match at the start. If you've done your research properly, you should know what keywords you're going to convert on. So at launch, we're going to separate the keywords by search volume. We're going to use sponsored products and sponsored brand videos. We're going to use exact match, and we're going to prioritize top of search placement modifiers so that we're shown top of search ahead of everybody else. And we're going to implement a brand protection strategy. So talking a little bit about brand protection strategy, let's go into campaign structure. This is really important, and this is something that a lot of D2C brands get taken advantage of by other agencies because people will overspend on branded terms without recognizing how incremental that sale is. Every campaign you run on Amazon ads should fall into one of these three buckets: branded, generic, or competitor. And if you think about it, your branded terms are going to be your least incremental. These are people searching for your brand. You don't want to spend a lot of money here because we're not sure if they would have purchased already. We can measure certain KPIs to target that actually. But for branded ads, you want to protect your name, and these are basically just protect your brand on Amazon, prevent competitors from advertising on your terms. So you get to track your brand purchase share. This is in search query performance, and your top of search impression share, which is in the campaign manager. And you want your target return on ad spend to be 5 to 10x for your branded terms. In terms of generic ads, this is where you actually start to acquire new to brand customers on Amazon. So you want to target high volume non-branded keywords. And then you want to look at competitor ads as well. So if you have any dominant competitors on Amazon, you want to be targeting their brand names as well. And this is directly stealing a sale from your competitor and converting it to yours. Now, what we do internally is we use scale insights and we track organic ranks on a day-by-day and hour-by-hour basis so that we can set bids and monitor spending across each of these buckets and then set the specific goals for each of these. Now, with regards to Amazon PPC, should you manage PPC yourself? Well, the second you start scaling on Amazon, your time is going to become much more stressed. And the way I always like to think about it is it worth your ROI for you to change a bid from 99 cents to 86 cents based on the last 12 hours of data? And if you're thinking about this question, ask yourself three things. One, how much is your time really worth? If you're spending hours tweaking bids, checking reports, managing campaigns, what high value tasks are you ignoring? Do you just not have the time to launch a new product that could potentially be worth 7 figures? Are you not working on strategy? Every hour spent on PPC is an hour lost on scaling your brand. Two, how truly confident are you that you're getting the best results? Amazon PPC is complex, it is changing every single day. They are introducing new features about weekly now. And then, do you have the time and the capability to keep up with these features and to A/B test all of these different things? Three, how much stress are you carrying for no reason? If you wake up every day and you're thinking about CPC, ACOS, tacos, and if you don't know what any of these abbreviations mean, then you should not be managing PPC yourself. But PPC management is a grind. If you can offload the stress, let a pro handle it, and focus on what actually grows your business, it's something I would recommend. As a general rule, if you spend more than $5,000 and $10,000 a month on Amazon ads, you should be using an agency. Now, in terms of types of ads, there's sponsored product ads. This looks exactly like an Amazon listing, and there's no way to customize the creative. Generally speaking, 60 to 80% of your Amazon ad spend should go towards these. We have been liking these brand headline ads and these video ads a lot more though. So this is a sponsored brand headline ads. These are great for dominating keywords. As you see, you can customize the creative, you can showcase different products. And then video ads, these are actually, for some accounts we run, video ads take up 80% of overall spend. These are great for capturing attention on Amazon. And if you're a DTC brand and you're spending a lot on Facebook ads, you probably have good video. So what it is repurposing that video into a good Amazon sponsored brand creative. As I said earlier, the customer on Amazon is different than the customer on Facebook. Okay. The customer on Amazon is much lower in the funnel. They came searching to purchase something. They just need to be convinced about what to purchase. So this is a very important distinction, but it comes back to this levels of awareness. But if you have good Facebook ads, that's a great sign that you can succeed with sponsored brand video ads on Amazon. Now, we've gone through each of these 3 pillars, each of these 6 pillars. So let's quickly go through them again. First of all, prepare for Amazon. And you can create the Seller Central account, research competition, establish brand registry. You can set up the Amazon account, set up inventory forecasting. Then you're going to go create the listing SEO. You can create a high converting listing, get initial reviews, set up a 3-tier PPC strategy, and then start driving external traffic. During the launch, all of this needs to be simultaneous. You need to be getting initial reviews. You need to be setting up the 3-tier PPC strategy. You need to be sending external traffic, all in the same 14 to 21 day period. As you can imagine, it's quite a busy time, but if you execute on each of these pillars, you are going to have a successful launch. So these are the 6 pillars of how to launch a DTC brand on Amazon. Once you master each of these pillars, you can have a successful launch, and then it goes into ongoing maintenance, scaling from 100,000 a month to 1 million a month, and there's slightly different strategies there, and then just gradually scaling more and more. So if you want this full Miro board, you can sign up for the email in the description below, and I will talk to you soon.